Hey everybody, it's Christine up today with the very last day of Scrapping Boys 2.0, and today I am joined by Erica, so be sure to head on over to her channel next. She is also, like me, a mom with several boys, so she's got lots of great ideas for scrapping both boys and girls. And I thought today I would take a challenge that one of you put out to me to show you what to do with a really girly collection. So I have the Bloom collection from Paige Evans. It's a couple years old, I think. Or maybe it's just a year old. I can't keep up. She's got a new one every season. So anyways, you can see it's very girly. So I'm going to use this one today to show you how I would make it work for a boy. One of the things that's really easy to make work for a boy is patterned papers. So this one specifically I have used before and really loved the results with it. So I'm going to cut this one all up and make it more boyish. Definitely there's a lot of patterned papers in that collection that you could use. But I ended up only using 2 of them just because that's how my layout came together. So this one you can see has a sunburst feel to it, and you can see which parts are obviously more girly, the pinks and the purples. You could certainly work the reds all the way through the blues in for a boy. However, I'm not going to use the reds or oranges or even the yellows today. I'm really going to focus on the greens and blues. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take those pieces that I cut out and create a smaller sunburst on a sheet of white cardstock. Some of these fit perfectly into the corner. The 2 that I have in the middle do not fit perfectly, but I'm going to make them fit perfectly, and I will just trim them down. Now this blue in this has kind of a purplish hue to it, so it's a really interesting shade. And then the greens have more of that spring green feel, except for that top middle one. That one's got a solid forest green feel going to it. So you really run the gamut here on your shades of blue and green, which is great because that will work with just about any picture that's got blue and green. I am going to use some pictures that I took outside, and the lawn that we took the pictures on actually pretty much perfectly matches that really bright spring green there on the bottom. So that was kind of a fun coincidence. As I laid the pictures out, I was like, wow, you couldn't match that more perfectly. So that worked out really well for me. So you can see this is creating another really graphic feeling layout. One of the things I discovered this week is that I'm really tending towards graphic style layouts with really severe lines right now, and that sounded a little harsh, but I'm loving how they turn out. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues as I work back into a normal mode and away from a series. But I have had a lot of fun playing with those lines this week and seeing how they come together, and that's just kind of one of the fun things about doing a series. When you work in a really consistent time frame, you see some things come out about your current style. Now I am going to add a second sheet of patterned paper in right now, and this has a green background, and the other side was the really colorful circles. I just cut off a 1/2 inch strip, and I'm going to run that up along the side just to add another shot of color in before I add some more white elements, because otherwise it was just going to be super duper white. Now the next thing I'm going to do is make sure everything's on there nice and secure. I am using the Home & Hobby dual glue tip pen glue. I'm going to use it both in its original form, and I'm also using it in this fine tip bottle that's just a refillable bottle. And I'm using that one right now just to tuck in my corners and make sure they're in there tight, because they're such small parts. It's hard to get like a tape runner or anything like that in there. So this fine tip bottle works really well for that. And then in a moment you'll see I pull out the dual tip glue pen and use that to add some stars on. All of those are from Home & Hobby, which is a brand underneath Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. I like this glue, especially on things like today, because it doesn't dry super fast, but it doesn't dry super slow. It's kind of a medium speed in drying. And when I'm working with things that I want to have the time to move, it works really nicely for that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to jazz up my white background just a smidge, and I am going to take all those white punch stars that you see sitting there and add those all over the white. Specifically, I'm going to focus on the part where the picture won't cover them up, because I don't want to waste my time putting them underneath the pictures. But what this is doing is just adding texture, and Another thing that it's doing is kind of giving you the look of a cut file. If you did a really cool star cut file background, you can kind of mimic that with punches and doing tone on tone. It's a different look, but it's still like at the end, I was like, it really looks like I just laid a cut file over the top of it, and I didn't. So just a nice way to change up just solid white, particularly too if you're not into mixed media and you want to do something different on the white. I mean, I know there's a lot of mixed media people out there. I am not one who does a ton of mixed media, but I do a ton with paper. So that is just another approach to changing up that look. Now you can see how that really changed things. I added my 3 pictures on there with shaped in circles, and you can see what I was saying about the lawn color matching nicely. Then I added a couple of tags with some twine flowing from them up above the pictures, and now I'm working on my title. The title was by far the hardest part of this layout. I couldn't figure out what to use or what to say. I had a lot of ideas of what to say. However, I couldn't use just a straight up white title because of the white showing. It was a challenge. So I ended up using Blessed Adventure, My Blessed Adventure. And so I have little white My letters that I'm going to pull out from Bella Boulevard. And then the Blessed and Adventure are also from Bella Boulevard. I've got 3 different mediums going though. Stickers, an acrylic piece, and chipboard. And you can see the Blessed Adventure especially pops off really nicely there. That was what I was going for. I didn't want the title to get lost in the layout with the different layers that I had going on. You can also see now what I was saying. It's really turned out to be another graphic layout with big lines, bold colors, and just a lot of things popping off the page in a big way. So as a reminder, today is the last day to get entered for the giveaway. I have a $50 gift card to Paper House Productions and a $20 gift card to the ScrapRoom. And you can enter for those today by leaving a comment here and being a subscriber if you aren't already. And you can also get an entry for doing the same over on Erica's channel. Today, for your comment, I would like to know which was your favorite layout of the week. You can have multiple if you want to, but which one was your favorite? I think for me, actually today's layout was my favorite. Obviously, I geared it towards focusing on all 3 of my boys. Also, since it was Mother's Day, I thought I'd focus on all 3 of them. Don't worry, I got lots of pictures of my daughter to take and put on a layout too, but today was about the boys. But I think today's is actually my favorite. So tomorrow I will be back with the winners for you. So make sure you get your entry in before midnight today. And thank you so much for joining me all week long. I've really enjoyed reading all your comments and will be responding to them as time permits. Have a wonderful end to your weekend, and we will see you guys tomorrow.